Oh, hello everyone! Welcome back to Cruelty Free A to Z, a judgment-free zone where we learn all about what it means to be cruelty-free. So today's going to be a little bit more of a discussion video. We are going to be talking about a very important topic. So as you will be able to tell from the title, we are going to be talking about brands that claim to be cruelty-free when in fact they may actually not be. So I saw on Ulta, they have an entire section of clean beauty, and they have a specific section of brands that they say are cruelty-free. And upon first glance at the list, I saw a couple of brands which I knew from previous research were not actually cruelty-free. So I thought, okay, how many of the brands listed on here are also not cruelty-free, and yet they are listed on here as well? So I'm nothing if not thorough to a fault, and I went through every single brand on that list on Ulta, that the cruelty-free list, to see which brands are actually cruelty-free and which brands are claiming to be, or Ulta is claiming they are, and they actually are not. So there are a number of them which I could not get enough info on. Perhaps they are newer brands or smaller brands. So there are a bunch which may be cruelty-free fully, but I just don't have enough info, so I'm not going to talk about them. I will be talking about the ones that I know definitively are not cruelty-free, and yet they are listed as well. And there are also some which I already knew weren't cruelty-free that may not be on Ulta specific list, but may themselves be claiming to be cruelty-free, and they also are not. So this is very important, things that you need to watch out for when you are shopping these fake cruelty-free brands. Let's just call a spade, fake cruelty-free. And if you watch my second ever video about certifications, logos, and more, you will see how easy it is for brands to claim to be cruelty-free and what that looks like. So I'd highly recommend watching that video so you can see more of what to look out for. But here in this video, I will be talking about the specific brands. I've done my research through a number of websites such as Cruelty Free Kitty, Ethical Elephant, Ethical Bunny, Cruelty Free UK, I think it's called. So they have already done a lot of the heavy lifting in determining whether the brands are actually cruelty free or not. There are some that I've reached out to myself, still waiting to hear back from. So I will not be including those in today's video, but I will hopefully make an updated video on those brands. So some really top brands that kind of claim to be cruelty-free yet may not fully be are Wet n Wild and Charlotte Tilbury, which I do have a video on, so I will link that as well, and also Honest Beauty. And so you should see my H.I.N.J. video because I kind of talk a little bit more about Honest Beauty there as well. So I'm not going to talk about those brands in this video. So let's start with Beauty Bakerie. Really cool brand themselves. They have a really cool theme with the, baking theme of their products. Yet they are actually in a gray area, according to Cruelty Free Kitty, and also Ethical Bunny, because they did not fully answer Ethical Bunny's questions regarding their cruelty-free status, specifically in regards to whether their suppliers, manufacturers, and other third parties test. They beat around the bush on that question and did not answer it. Ethical Bunny sent back and forth about 4 emails trying to ascertain this, and they couldn't get a straight answer out of them. However, they do maintain that they are cruelty-free because they are PETA certified, and they also do not sell in mainland China. However, let's talk about PETA certifications for a second. Again, if you look at my certifications and logos video, a lot of shameless self-promo in this, you will know why a PETA certification isn't always necessarily the golden standard for whether or not a brand is cruelty-free. However, Leaping Bunny really is not necessarily PETA. So a brand can be PETA certified, but may be able to get around some of the requirements a little bit more easily. Next, we're going to be talking about Bumble and Bumble. Their parent company is Estee Lauder, who is not cruelty-free, but that, in my opinion, doesn't have necessarily a bearing on their cruelty-free status. Ulta does claim that they are a cruelty-free brand. However, it is unclear whether their suppliers, manufacturers, and third parties test on their behalf, and it is also unclear whether or not they sell in countries that require testing by law. And additionally, they do have third-party testing done when that is required by law. So automatically X right there. Next, let's talk about the sexy hair care brand. Ulta again says that they are cruelty-free. Their parent company is Hinkle, which again is not a cruelty-free brand, and they have said that they do commission testing when it is required by law as well, similar to Bumble and Bumble. So another hard no. Okay, so this is a big one. WINKY Luxe. If you will see my Finds or Fails Target video, you will see that they have a huge display prominent display in the makeup brand, very clearly they say 100% cruelty-free. However, yes, they are PETA certified, but in their response to both Cruelty-Free Kitty and Ethical Elephant, they state, I'm going to read their statement because they sent this to both Cruelty-Free Kitty and Ethical Elephant, so I think this is their like standardized automatic response. They say, all of our products are registered with PETA, which means we have supplied them with documentation stating we have not tested our products on animals. We are also registered for sale with the EU, which means original ingredient information and testing documentation are supplied from the factory to the EU registration company. Anything that is deemed unacceptable by the EU is unable to be registered. This includes harmful ingredients, banned ingredients, and animal testing statements. We can assure you that our products are completely safe and free of toxic ingredients. Okay, so according to Cruelty-Free Kitty, they analyze this response a little bit. And they say that supplying documentation to PETA and saying they have not tested their products on animals is actually misleading. The documentation required by PETA is just a statement that they don't test on animals. However, it does not necessarily require an agreement from their suppliers, manufacturers, or other third parties that they do not test on animals. So technically they could, which is why Leaping Bunny is a little bit more of a gold standard because they do require an agreement. So there's that. Additionally, they say that because they're registered for sale in the EU that their products can't be tested on animals. However, although this means that their ingredients can't be tested on animals, it does not necessarily mean that their suppliers don't test on animals. And additionally, cosmetics sold in the EU are not exempt from animal testing by third parties in other countries. So, gotta watch out for that. And last, Cruelty-Free Kitty says that they are greenwashing by saying that their products are non-toxic because that's just not true. And also it is, according to them, just off topic. So that was a big one. Next, ULTA says that Lorac is cruelty-free. They are PETA certified. Again, another brand that is PETA certified. However, they provided vague and incomplete responses to Cruelty-Free Kitty, so they also class them as being in the gray area. However, I just want to reiterate that even though a brand is in the gray area, it does not necessarily mean that they are automatically not cruelty-free. They very well may be. They're just not providing the information to us. However, for Lorac specifically, it's kind of unclear whether or not they are selling in mainland China, according to Ethical Elephant. There is no cruelty-free or animal testing policy or statement on their website. Most of these brands actually do have a statement on their website, so that's at least a little bit more than this. It's at least something. They do not have a policy or statement on their website anywhere. And in their response to Ethical Elephant's inquiry in 2019, they said that they do not test finished products on animals. They emphasize finished products. They are not aware of testing done by manufacturers, so that's definitely a cop-out because they're just saying we're turning a blind eye, basically. So if there is testing, we don't see it, but there very well maybe. And they also say that they cannot warrant or certify that all of their suppliers who say they don't test don't actually. So they're like,
we can't because we're just not checking up on them, basically.
That's what that means. And they have no way of knowing what the suppliers of suppliers are doing. So basically, I think that's just lazy. They're just saying, we don't want to check up on them. So that's our way of protecting ourselves because we have no way of knowing, I think because we don't want to. And so in regards to the uncertainty of whether or not they sell in mainland China or not, in 2019, when Ethical Elephant reached out, they said that they did not. However, in 2020, when they reached back out again, they were a lot more vague about whether or not they were selling in mainland China. They also talked about expanding globally, which could Ethical Elephant kind of, supposes that it might be kind of a code for speaking about expanding their sales into mainland China. It actually is owned by Marc, who also owns Wet n Wild. Watch my Wet n Wild's video to see about the shady dealings of that. So there's probably a similar thing going on there. Let's talk about the ULTA brand. ULTA says that they themselves are cruelty-free. However, they too are in the gray area because they did not respond to Cruelty-Free Kitty in regards to their practices. So basically, it's not fully 100% safe to assume that they are cruelty-free until they explicitly respond to anyone. Ooh, this is a big one. First Aid Beauty. they were cruelty-free, but now they're not because they're selling in mainland China. However, they still are PETA certified, and their website says that they are 100% cruelty-free. You need to watch out for people who say that they're 100% cruelty-free, not all the brands, but if you'll see again, certifications and logos video, that means ultimately nothing. So 100% cruelty-free according to them, but not according to our standards. And even though they sell in mainland China, they claim that because the products are domestically produced in China that they are exempt from testing, but that is not true because there is still a risk of post-market testing in China. They still have maintained their PETA certification because they claim that the Chinese authorities will reach out to PETA if in fact there's a customer complaint that necessitates some post-market testing, but Cruelty-Free Kitty doesn't believe that's true. They think that because it is a law in China, that the authorities will just go through their protocol, their own protocol, rather than actually reaching out to PETA, so there's definitely a risk there. So First Aid Beauty, that's on shaky ground. And a similar thing happened with Physicians Formula, where they claim that they are 100% cruelty-free. However, they also are now selling in mainland China. They were cruelty-free and now they're not. And yet they are also still PETA certified. I don't know if this was listed on ULTA, because I don't know if they're sold at ULTA, but it's Fenty Beauty. This is a big wah-wah for me because what a great brand. Absolutely want to support Rihanna's brand, and yet Fenty is in the gray area. On their website, they claim that they are 100% cruelty-free. However, they refused to respond to any specific questions in regard to their status. And Cruelty-Free Kitty reached out multiple times to inquire, and they refused to respond, so that's a little shady, and that's kind of upsetting to me because I would have loved to have tried products from that brand. And lastly, we are going to be talking about JOICO. They are PETA certified, like many of the other brands. However, they test their finished products when required by law. Big no. They have third-party testing where it's required by law. Big no. And it is uncertain whether or not their ingredients are tested or if their suppliers do test on animals. And they're also sold where animal testing is required. So that's like a lot of big no's right there. So I will be linking either a Google Doc or just the actual links of all of the websites and posts where I got all of this information from, so you can look at it yourselves if you want. You can look at these blogs and do your own research. Unfortunately, there are a lot of brands out there that are claiming to be cruelty-free, even when they are not, and they are trying to dupe us. But you know what? We will not be duped because we are smarter than that. You can't pull one over on us. And honestly, I feel like that's even more unethical to claim that you are cruelty-free when you really aren't. Like, just say you're not and there won't be a problem, but now you're making us think that you are, and you're not. And so not only are you testing on animals, but now you're lying, or just evading the truth, omitting the truth. Shady. Whatever. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please, I would love if you would comment and like this video. Please subscribe. I would love to have you be part of my cruelty-free cuties, and you can always contact me via email and via Instagram for more content like this. And I will see you next time.